Newspapers and see what they're serving us this morning for breakfast. It's always good to start with the punch. And they're above the nameplate 2027 Rivers governorship drama as APC committee screens Fubara Wike's allies. First hold co 6 shareholders approval on 1 trillion capital base in bold balance sheet fortification. State's capital spending plunges 58% as 2027 politics intensifies. Now, the riders for that story, capital projects suffer after Lagos, Bayelsa, Enugu, and others spending drops by 2.2 trillion. Spending cuts may worsen poverty and unemployment, and that's coming from the economists. Fiscal pressure deepens as 13 states borrow fresh 362 billion naira. And okay, you heard me say, oh my God, we're back to discussing Nigeria this morning. This was what I saw when I said it. Because we're starting to get into a political, era and campaigns and all of that. Does that mean that the people should suffer? Because when you cut your spending, by 2.2 trillion naira, that's no joke. And we're looking at about 58%. And again, even economists can see, so clearly that it's of course going to worsen poverty, is going to worsen unemployment, and it just may as well bring Nigeria to almost a halt because some people are politicking. Again, I want to complain. I'm saying that does this necessarily have to be the case? Are the people no longer important? What is the politicking about? Is it not about the people? I kind of get confused with Nigerian politics and what their priorities are.
It's a circle. And I always say that a typical political life of a Nigerian politician is not 4 years. Constitutionally, it's 4 years. For them, governance is about a year. Because once they win election, they'll use few weeks or months to get congratulatory message. Then they'll prepare for swearing and handing over. Then they'll start setting up their cabinet. And in the process of setting up cabinet, they have to look at different variables. Oh, which zone gave me the highest votes? Which zone is likely going to produce this one? Which one, this one? Where's the party chairman zone? This. So they look into all of this. Then they set up the cabinet. And then before we say what's happening, they are doing 100 days in office. They are doing 365 days in office. So the smart ones will have quickly completed the project they inherited so that they'll have a lot of things to showcase for their themselves. 1 year in office. Then after 1 year, there is the second year, which is often about trying to consolidate on what they've done in the last 1 year. For the ones that don't have court issue, that they are not challenging the legitimacy of their results, because first one, they will still go to courts, tribunal, high court, appeal court. The ones that are unlucky can still take it as far as the Supreme Court. So they live without distraction for so many months. Then after the second year, they start looking at the fact that, am I doing enough? Do I need to start making consultation to go for a second term for the fresh ones? Or the ones that are about to finish, they're looking at retirement home. Do I want to go to the Senate? The ones that are governors, do I want to have a shot at the presidency? So at that second year, and they're still doing small politics and still doing small governance. But by the third year, governance to the back seat, politics takes the front page. And so when the politics starts, you see issues of, governors abandoning their states in most cases and going to different other states, especially situations where there are off-cycle elections. Now you see, Ekiti election is coming. You see the way the governor of Lagos, Ogun, or all of them would troop into Ekiti to support one of their own. They will still do the same for Osun as well. And when we know what's happening, campaign starts. According to the timeline of INEC, the timetable for presidential campaign starts in August. And for the governors and the other assembly starts in September. So this is May.
Of which year?
2026.
No,
So this is May.
I was only being mischievous.
I understand. This is May. June, July. By August, everything is over. So that is where the problem comes in. Look at Lagos, for instance. Governor Sanwo-Olu is leaving office. His deputy governor is taking over, or is, according to ABC, want him to take over from him. So both of them are in the heart of political conversation right now. So I understand that there are structures that should make governance work. But when you begin to abandon governance itself and it becomes fully political, in fact, by the time they lift ban on campaign for the presidency, you see that every state the president visits, governors are following him everywhere. And some of them, their deputies are going to the Senate. They're also building on their own political. In fact, look at Ogun State. Both the governor and the Senate and the deputy governor, both of them are going to the Senate. So what happens in that case? Both of them are struggling for their political survivors. And there's a little that the Secretary to State government can do. There's a little that commissioners can do. There's nothing SSAs and SAs can do. So it is the governor or the deputy. But when you see a situation where most of them are deep into politics, neck deep enough into politics, people would suffer. And that's what we are seeing already.
That's what we're seeing already, unfortunately. You know, these things need to be properly spelled out. Well, they've been spelled out, you know, but and it's not like some people don't know anyway.
know.
Of course, they know exactly what they should be doing, and they know exactly what they have chosen to do. Those are two completely different things. Now, when they said when two elephants fight, is the grass that suffers. So in this case, the grass would be
The people.
And when the people are suffering and the leaders don't feel any form of empathy for the people, I mean, then there's a huge problem. It just tells you the kind of leaders that we have in Nigeria. It's about them first. So, you know, that's why some people would say, you know what, I just rather sit at home, because any which way, you know, these people are never going to think about me first. Let me think about myself. Let me think about staying alive. Let me think about my health and every other thing that's important to me, because these people do what's important to them first. We call on our leaders to, you know, let loose the political cloud, as I may refer to it at this moment, a little bit, so that you know, you put the people into consideration and look out for them, you know, be there for them at this very critical point in Nigeria's history. All right, so time to move on. Still on the Punch newspaper, they say vehicle imports jump 67% in 3 months. Is that the Strait of Hormuz again affecting? No, it's a question I need to ask. You know, every question that asks deserves an answer. So, Okwe, can you please give me the answer if you have one?
So there's been some waiver on the import duties on vehicles.
Yeah.
So I think that is what is leading into that. Because I always tell people that there's no money in the country. There's no money in the country. Every single day, car ports are opening up.
Yeah.
Big cars, expensive cars are on the street and every corners of Lagos and Nigeria. So I think that's what this is about. That now that there's a bit of some waiver.
So now there's an increase in the importation.
People are importing cars.
Yeah, but there's no decrease in the prices of. I mean, you know, the effect has not been felt, you know, by the people who are purchasing the cars, because I know cars are still very expensive.
Very expensive. Yeah. I mean, you know, in Nigeria is like age. What goes up in this country never comes down. So even when the dots are aligning, even when the numbers seems to be better, it is difficult for us. And sometimes you can't blame some of these guys, because the time they imported those vehicles, the waivers were not in place yet. So they will say that, let me sell the one I have in my stand first before I start having the effect on the new one. But the truth is, do you know the new and the old?
Exactly.
At what point do you know they are finished selling the ones they imported when there were no waivers? So I think that's where the Nigerians had to come into play. But, well, whatever it is, it's bad that people can barely even afford brand new cars. But so if the import is going up, and then we are buying Tokumbo cars as we used to this part of the
Tokumbo
world.
tires. You saw some tires in my car this
And I had
morning,
to ask.
and you asked me that, what are those tires doing in my car? And I said, well, I have a pool of tires that I buy from time to time and just keep. So when my car needs a change of tires, I just put them in the car and take them to the man who's going to fix them for me. That's Nigeria, and you have to give Nigeria what it takes. All right, so 3,715 PHCs inactive in 19 states and the Federal Capital Territory.
We had this conversation last week, yeah?
Yes, we did.
Where we talked about the fact that it is the duty of the local government chairman to make sure that the primary healthcare centers are equipped and effective. So look at this number now: 3,715 are inactive.
In 19 states.
So the ones that are active, it's not like they are fully active, but maybe some of them are still a bit
what
better.
They refer to as active, as far as I'm concerned, should be non-active.
Exactly. So this one that they said it is inactive, it means that it is dead.
It's dead.
It's not existing at all. So when you have communities where there are issues, I told you that one of the most unfortunate news I heard in the last 2 weeks is the fact that we're back with cases of polio. And when Nigeria was certified polio free a couple of years back, I was really excited because I stayed in the north for a while and I see the effect of these polios and lack of vaccines on those little children. So when we were certified polio free, I was happy. Now we had cases of polio. We are scared now of antivirus or no antivirus. Everybody is being careful about rodents. Some people are sniffing, but some people are just moving around, But the most important thing is that these PACs have to be effective so that people can have. Don't why are you laughing now?
Okay, you're such a horrible person. And, because of what you just done now, I'm just going to tell my story when it's time for the discussion.
So I don't use it to blackmail you small.
When it's time for the discussion segment, I'll just tell my story myself, okay? You can go ahead.
I think it's a big call to local government chairman. If you're talking about local government autonomy, people should feel it. It's not just about raising levies in the markets or at the motor parks. If you're collecting from the people, it is your duty to give back to them. Fix your primary healthcare centers. That is the first point of response for emergencies. Pregnant women, minor issues like malaria and all of that. Let them get first hand or first aid first at those PACs. If there are need for them to be referred, then they can be referred. I'm really worried that we're still at this stage with the huge amount of money that local government chairmen are now collecting. We're still talking about inactive primary healthcare centers. Why? Why?
So sad, so sad. Health is wealth. How do we expect our country to be wealthy?
Wealthy when we are not healthy.
We're not healthy, when we're not taking care of the people. The human resources that God has given to us in Nigeria is second to none. Like, seriously. Is it a population we want to talk about? Look at China. That's what is keeping China going. The population that they have, and they're living on the population. They're living on the human resources that they have, and they're taking care of them. But Nigeria is not doing that. We don't understand how to make wealth in this country. You see, we don't even need to be borrowing. We have everything going for us. But unfortunately, I don't know how certain people are thinking. Well, we can't all be the same. I realize that. But there's some basic things that we expect that the people who are leading us should know. If you're not investing in the people and you're investing in material things, then I think that's a waste, because eventually there's really not going to be, anything to show for it. But when you invest in the people, then you have so much to show for it. And, then you see the country become better, become, richer and all of that. Anyway, we hope that one day our leaders will learn and listen. Okay, so deep in security, counterterrorism, and bilateral relations with the United States. We have a picture story, and that tells it all on the front page of the Punch newspaper. INEC deadline. Opposition parties rush to submit membership registers. All right, that's it from the Punch newspaper this morning. It's time for us to take a look at the Daily Independent.
Wow. Nigeria must decommoditize cocoa to protect farmers. That is coming from experts, and also boost earning power from that. 2027, Fubara's fate uncertain, snubs out of APC screening venue. I saw that story yesterday, and you asked this morning that what's going on between Wike and Fubara. There's no love lost in between them. It's just at the moment a marriage of convenience. Do your day, like Wike would always say. Day your day, make I day my day. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Be the governor. Don't tamper with my structure. Leave my boys for me. build your own structure if you want to build it, but I'll make sure you are not coming back into that government house because I put you there in the first place, and I'll make sure you don't come back. But the question is this: Wike is a member of the PDP. Fubara had joined the APC. Fubara is enjoying the protection of the Progressive Governors Forum. Hope Uzodinma is the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, and it is a well-known fact that himself and Wike, they are water and oil. They can never mix. Never mix. So as long as Hope Uzodinma is supporting Fubara, Oyastu is one of their own. Wike will be the catalyst that will continue to roll things over. So the question we're asking is, will Wike choose the governorship candidate of APC for Rivers State when he's a member of the PDP?
Do you really put anything past Wike? And really, do you put anything past Nigerian politics?
No, nothing.
I don't.
Nothing.
I don't. Anything can happen. Okwe, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we come back tomorrow. We're reading the same thing that we're saying may not happen.
And it's happening.
Never say never when it comes to Nigeria.
Well, the big story, liquidity buffers keeps interbanks rate steady amid CBN mop-up as PDP mocks Wike over Supreme Court CTC ruling, shifts focus to election. Sarah gives Tinubu 7 days over missing 26.9 billion from USPF. Federal government saves 1.1 trillion through new price intelligence initiative. Okay. That's on page 6 of Daily Independent. Sanu Nasu suspends nationwide strike starting today. We said it. We're going to suspend the strike. Wow. Jet A1 crisis threats to flight safety and jobs. Pilots and engineers are complaining. Should we not have a solution to this Jet A1 issue long enough?
Politics is in the air. Every other thing else must not, is not, every other thing must suffer. At this rate, we shouldn't even expect anything. Okwe, the truth is that everybody's on their own as we speak, and will be on their, Wike has said it now. Sorry, Senate President said it that, even terrorism, would end 2 weeks after election. So everything is until after election. What we can do now is pray that the days quickly come and go, and the months come and go, and that it's time for election, and that election is over. That's the only thing we can do right now.
Process that the number 3 citizen in the country
would make such a statement,
such
an irresponsible statement.
Nigerians will continue to die until after the election.
There's something he knows.
After the election, the killings will stop.
Don't you think that there's something he knows?
There's nothing they don't know. A couple of months back, Sheikh Gumi talked about the fact that the government know everybody. They know the bandit, they know the terrorists, they know their leader, they know their address, they know their enclaves, they know everything about those bandits. So for the Senate president to come out and say 2 weeks after the election, the killings will stop. So because we have a lot of people recklessly saying whatever comes into their mouth and nobody's holding them to account. In that case, if it was to be in a working society, the Senate president will be investigated. What do you know? How do you know that 2 weeks after election, the killings will stop?
They wouldn't even ask him how. They would just ask him what he knows. He needs to tell, brief us what he knows. But this is Nigeria. Anything would pass and anything would go. But it's very, very disappointing and very sad that, we keep coming on this table and predicting, the lackadaisical attitude of our leaders. We can actually, we're not soothsayers.
Our predictions are always right.
Yeah, our predictions are always right because we know what our leaders would do. We know what they would not do. The things that matter the most to the masses, to the people, to the Nigerians, are the things that they probably would not take care of. But guess what? When it is things that really do not matter to us, but it matters to them, they will take care of. But I'm telling you something, we need to stop and go back to the drawing boards because election time is the time where people will say enough of this, let's vote for a change. And perhaps if the elections will be free and fair, there may be a tendency that people would say, look, we want a fresh air,
new idea.
Because we're not getting anything. This has, for me, This government has never stuck by the rules. They have just disregarded the rules, even when they are constitutional. For example, campaign has started since the day they took over power. We're talking about the official, breaking of campaigns. There's nothing like that, really. There's nothing like that because they've been campaigning. I understand that the whole of the North, people have started to ask whether there's business going on in the North because there's no publicity, there's no advertisement. The billboards are filled with political campaigns and it is just one party. And this is nauseating, very disgusting to think that people who are so learned, because you can't take that away from our president. He is learned. He actually is learned. And he understands the meaning of
Playing by the rules.
Yeah, playing by the rules. And he is a great strategist. So why would it be him, of all people, that would not be sticking to the rules? He can't say that he doesn't see these things happening. But because it's in his favor, he's not saying anything. And that's the part that we disagree with. We expect that things should... Now, so in August, they will make an open show of what? Okay?
Of what they've been doing already.
No, what they've been... Exactly. So who are they going to be making a fool of, really? They're not going to be making a fool of Nigerians because Nigerians already know who they are and what they are. Yeah.
Let's look at the Daily Sun.
Okay, time for us to take a look at the Daily Sun. Escalating vandalism, diesel theft threaten 3 trillion telecom assets. And the writer is MTN spends 887 million on security in the first quarter. Wow. What do you want the people? What do you want the people to do?
Going up.
No, seriously, what do you want the people to do? When we have a government that doesn't take care of them, for some people, they are myopic in their thinking. They don't see the need to find a legitimate job to do. So the next thing is to steal. For them, that's the way to make money. But the thing is that one day the thief will be caught, and it's the ripple effect. It's still the ripple effect will still come back to the thief, because when Nigeria gets harder, it's coming back to them.
Of course.
So that's the unfortunate part. But you see, our leaders need to pay the masses some mind. Okay, top bank slash loans by 25% amid rising risks. Riders are CBN to examine lending slowdown at MPC meeting. Experts urge softer regulatory rules. Sometimes when they talk about taking loan from the banks, I just smile because honestly, the banks will ask you for an arm and a leg. You now wonder why do they even bother to give loans? And then again, you want to look, because I like to balance things out. I remember back in the day, there was a bank called the People's Bank. And that bank was very popular, as the name speaks for itself. It was a bank for the people. And you could do a lot of borrowing and lending and all of that, transactions with the bank. Nigerians borrowed that bank to a standstill and the bank folded down. I'm telling you, nobody returned the money that they took. And that was the end of the People's Bank. I'm serious. So
the people killed their bank.
They killed their bank.
It's their own. I think it says their own.
Yes,
we did that now we want.
So they killed the bank, and then you start to wonder, what's up with Nigerians now? Why are you doing this kind of thing? So when they now come and they start giving you stringent rules before you can take a loan, you just have to understand. All right, so I just played the devil's advocate, actually. Tension in APC, ADC, NDC, PDP as members' lists submission ends. Zone presidency to South. Fasten action on state police. Middle Belt Forum advises. Okay, that's coming from the Middle Belt. Middle Belt has a lot to do. They need to look inwards and see how they themselves can help, protect themselves, because I don't know what's going on. I don't know how much dependent, that any Nigerian should be on the government. I think it's 0%, if you ask me. Just assume that they were not there until we get a government that will show the people that we are here for you. Yeah, I mean, there's really no need. Just know that you're on your own. You're just try to do things, get things working on your own.
Sorry, on this one. So because just like you said, the Middle Belters need to sit back and look inwards.
Yeah.
They've been one of the worst hit region in this country.
Yes.
In terms of the killings, in terms of destruction of lives and properties, in terms of the waste, in terms of, I'm not sure, maybe I may not have the exact figures, but after Borno State, I think between Plateau and Benin have the largest number of IDP camps in Nigeria, internally displaced people in Nigeria. And so it's a region that is supposed to also provide food for the entire country because of the greenery around those states.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they call Benue the food basket of the nation.
Yeah, of Nigeria.
There's a reason why a lot of people on the plateau are into farming. Nasarawa, even the part of Kaduna. But if you look at the killings that have happened in these states in the last 10, 12 years, then
It's
you
a lot.
understand the fact that it's enough for them to raise their concerns. So when they say, please, zone presidency to the south, if that is going to bring solutions to our region, let's do it. But more importantly, one of the concerns they raised have
Where
to
is
do
the
with the
current
state
president
police.
from?
The current president is from the south.
That's why I'm trying
No,
to.
they're just saying other political parties should zone into the south so that the south can complete their 8 years, and it goes back to the north.
To the
in this
north,
case.
yeah.
But more importantly, they raised the issue about the state police, and I'm not going to lie. There are issues you'd have to sit back and ask yourself again. But how we've been slow on this state police is disturbing.
But you were not observant when they said in how many
It's
months? In
66
66 or 67 months. When I read that report, because I was the one who read that report, and that day I called your attention to it, okay? I said 67 months. I mean, will this government still be in power even if they're re-elected? I asked that question. So, if the process is that it's going to happen in 67 months, then there may be an issue. But if it is that the actual process will start, and then by 67, they will perfect it in 67 months. Well, we're looking at it. But we're saying that, is it really so difficult, to have state police? How difficult is it? Well, I'm going to be talking about the police very, very soon on this program, because I had a contact with them at one of the police stations over the weekend, and I discussed it with Okpe while we were coming to work. I don't know if this is the right time to talk about it, or maybe when we get to our discussion segment.
Because there's another thing too that is still owes the full gist. I will not forget. I will not forget.
All right. So let's just hope that if we are serious, let's prove that. Let's prove that we're serious by doing serious things, and not playing. I see our leaders like, they are neither here nor there. The French will say comme ci, comme ça. They're not hot, they're not cold. Which one are you? Take one. Are you hot or are you cold? If you're hot, be hot and let the people know you're hot. Okay, so still on the Daily Sun. NDC zeroes in on Obi Kwakwanso ticket. Gunmen kill police and 14 others. They also abduct 5 in plateau communities. This is what we were just talking about. They've been the hardest hit in Nigeria. IPOB holds Biafra Heroes Remembrance Day on May 30th. And finally, from the Daily Sun, JAMB stakeholders to decide 2026 admission guidelines today. That's it from the Daily Sun. Let's look at the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay. The big headline, drama as Fubara appears before APC screening panel. There's a picture of the president and group CEO, Mrs. Owen, and OON group chairman, Mr. Tony Lumelu, CFR, and company secretary during the 20th annual general meeting, the AGM of Transnational Corporation PLC, that's Transcorp, at the weekend in Abuja. And there's also another picture of the National Security Advisor, Amala Nuribadu, with the United States Vice President, VP JD Vance, and of course the acting National Security Advisor, of the United States, that is Senator Marco Rubio. He had a working visit to the US last week, and just to deepen our bilateral and diplomatic relationship, especially in the fight against terrorism. So that's the picture there. NNPCL should stop committing state resources to refineries rehabilitation. The experts are warning. With the rider, NECA expresses concerns over new refinery deal. I think a lot of Nigerians are asking questions. Clarity. If you say Chinese firms are taking over the Warri and Port Harcourt, in what capacity? Have we sold it? Did we privatize it to them? Did we go to borrow loan and we use those as collateral in our national assets? Is it a private partnership? Is it a JV, that's a joint venture? Let us know the terms of this takeover. Let us know the terms of this change of ownership, so that we know that in the next 10 years, we'll cease to have anything that has to do with refinery in Nigeria. Let us know. And that's what the people are asking for.
So Okwe, let me just quickly say to you that the very best that we can do is ask questions. Now, if the government is not, deciding, to give us answers to these questions, there's absolutely nothing we can do, because this is not the first time. The day we read that report, the very first time, we asked the same question. And I want to imagine that every broadcaster, every journalist who read the papers or wrote the papers would have asked questions at that particular time. But you know what? Nobody cares to answer. Who cares about the people anyway? You care. You just have to care about yourself. And it is so disappointing. I don't want to get worked up today. I'm trying not to. But Nigeria should not happen to me today.
Tinubu Southwest lawmakers celebrate Fasoranti as 100. And that's the leader of the Afenifere. I clocked 100 over the weekend.
Is that not OPC? The OPC person? No, that's fashion.
That's fashion.
That's fashion.
POS transactions set to hit 8.9 trillion in May as CBN intensifies cashless drive. That is on page 13 of Nigerian Tribune. Jet A1 crisis. Pilot engineers raise alarm over aviation safety in Nigeria. That is on page 28. The top end of the Nigerian Tribune, First Holdco seeks shareholders' approval on 1 trillion capital base in bold balance sheet falsification. And on health, pathologists warned of rising global legal risk in mishandling surgical tissues. Let me take that again. Pathologists warn of rising global legal risk in mishandling surgical tissues. That is on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, so pathologists, those are the ones that deal with blood, tissues, and all of that. The thing, what they're saying is that, if surgeons, mishandle tissues, of patients, that recently there's, an increase in global legal, global legal risk. Yes, they will take it up legally. Recently, one of our very popular publishers, Nigeria, but based outside this country, lost one of her children, and it was said that it may have been caused by medical negligence. That was taken up, and consequences thereafter followed. So I think doctors need to be more careful, whether they're pathologists, whether they're surgeons, whatever it is, they need to be more careful, because right now, people are getting more aware of the fact that they can take them up legally, unlike before, where people will just let certain things go, like I did a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, when my son-in-law was given he was given what you call, was supposed to be given hepatitis B vaccine, the second dose, by Synlab, where he works, and I'm going to mention this name because I never took it up at the time. And instead of them to give him the vaccine, what they gave him was a reagent that contained a very deadly deadly chemical in it, but the Nigerian thing, oh, just let it be, and all of that. And this almost killed him. We didn't go through a good time at all because it was called sodium azide, and sodium azide has never been injected anywhere in the world. So we had to get a toxicologist. We're looking for toxicologists up and down. This boy was drifting away, and apparently somehow Sinlab they just got away with it. But I know that they won't get away with it. We're still coming back to that. So doctors need to be very, very careful about what they do these days when it comes to their patients. Are we still on the Nigerian Tribune?
No, we're done.
We're done? Okay. So there's a new paper we are introducing this morning. It's called The Hope. It's just called The Hope, apparently. And the above the nameplate of The Hope, APC Primary's ex-speaker Akindele backs Ayedatiwa and urges party members' unity. Ondo participates in CVR Phase 3. INEC urges eligible citizens. Now, the banner headline of The Hope is Pa Ruben Fashoranti glows at 100. Tinubu, Ayedatiwa, Afenifere, others celebrate centenarian with showers of encomiums. Elder statesman lauded for integrity, democratic ideals. Now, we're looking at this, the writers of this headline, and one thing for me, it says elder statesman lauded for integrity. Now, this is very important. These are certain things that people, our elder ones back in the day would stand for. And, they wanted to represent in these areas. When it comes to integrity, for them, that is everything. So I am not surprised, that this has been used to qualify Pa Fashoranti. So democratic ideals is also, he's lauded for democratic ideals. Emulate virtues of my dad. Son Taiwo Fashoranti tells politicians, and he's tasking them and asking them to emulate his father. How I wish that could happen. Perhaps we won't be where we are. And some of the people that lead Nigeria today came from this same Afenifere. You Fenifere, and you don't do the same. You don't do like you Ferry. It's quite unfortunate. No security threats are ahead. Fashoranti's birthday bash. Ajulo clears air. NDLEA arrests 3 persons with disabilities for drug trafficking. This is double wahala. Some people just don't. They just don't. They're not sorry for themselves. They don't even know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. You can look. We know people who suffer disabilities. They don't have any legs. They don't have any hands. Some people don't have hands. They use their legs to cook. They use their legs to pick up things. They use their legs to carry their bags. They use their legs to do everything. Those who don't have what is it now? The other one, the legs, the hands. They use those who have legs but don't have hands I'm confused.
Okay.
All right. But whatever. People who live with disabilities, that's my point. Let me not forget my point. The point is that even when you live with a disability,
you can still function.
You can still function to the best that you know that you want to be. Really.
What is your business with drugs?
What are you doing with drugs?
Yeah.
Listen, the truth is that everybody has a disability, one disability or the other. Some people, you can see their disability because it's physical, you understand? Some people have a mental disability. Others are emotional disabilities. But everybody has something that they're dealing with. But guess what? We're not going to do things that are out of order because we have one disability or something we're dealing with. So I don't know what these guys are doing, but honestly, I think that they should face the full wrath of the law without any consideration. you
Of
know,
their physical
of their
condition.
physical condition. They should face the full wrath of the law. Honestly, that's what I think. Okay, varsity expels 4 students for lesbianism and other offenses. High time. Fubara Abdul Razak Nwifuru absent as APC screens governors. All right, that's it from The Hope, and time to go to the Daily Trust.
Well, let's
Do
see.
you think we can take all the newspapers
We'll
this
just
morning?
flash through it real quick.
Okay.
Just the 2 or more. Let's just flash through some of the headlines that we have here. Sokoto 1 billion school project remains short 9 years after completion. ACF BOT rejects Dalhatu suspension. As 2027, doors closes on aspirants intending defectors. Allocation triples, hardship widens across states. That is Daily Independence right there. There's a breakdown of the increase in monthly allocations for states. You find out on the front page of the Daily Trust. I lost 3 children to Niger airstrike. Injured father is complaining. Fubara storms out of APC screening, shuns journalist. That is on page 16 of Daily Trust. Kidnappers using women to move rifles and ammunition in Kwara states. As police officers, 9 residents killed in fresh Plateau attacks. And that is much on Daily Trusts.
Okay, I'll look at the Nation newspaper
Let's
right
run
now.
through the Nation newspaper as well.
Okay, so almost everything that's on the front page of the Point newspaper is here, except, okay, so I'll just take it. 70 terrorists killed in Niger drone strikes. Okay, suspense as Fubara, Uzodima, others await screening results. APC gears up for commencement of primaries on Friday. Governor Zulum not in Senate race. That's it, really. We have the same picture story that we have on all the other papers, and some other things that are really.
Let's just flash through the Vanguard as we wrap up this segment of the show. 2027 presidency. Jonathan's declaration sparks stir. That is on page 5 with the rider 9 northern groups jostle to buy nomination form for ex-president. He must have weighted his chances. Afenifere, stay away from today's dirty politics. MBF advises Jonathan. That's the Middle Belt Forum now. Jonathan's return may not overheat the policy, according to CAN, that's Christian Association of Nigeria. It will be catastrophic misadventure if Jonathan returns. That is coming from Okori. Bureau defy economic hardship, record sharp rise in revenue. Okay. Petroleum Energy ramps up Dave's Island production by 2,800 barrels per day as Jet A1 price. Aircraft pilots, engineers worry over flight safety and their jobs. That is much on the Vanguard newspaper.
So the same word has been used in when they're talking about the Jet A1 flight safety. Why is it that they're not purchasing enough of the fuel for the flights? Why the safety thing?
So the concerns are huge because in this situation, operators may want to start cutting corners.
That's what I'm thinking.
Want to start buying substandard aircraft parts. Maybe you've noticed that, this aircraft is due for servicing, but because you really want to run 1 or 2,
that's what I thought, yeah.
Then again, the quality of Jet A1 may also be affected. People may have to start looking for ways to buy cheaper or quality. Low standard quality. So I understand where those safeties are coming from. And if these concerns are coming up on a regular basis,
yes.
I think for about a month now, every week there's always a story on this old Jet A1 crisis. And initially it was the land handlers that were complaining. Now the pilots and the flight engineers, aircraft engineers are complaining. So that is where that part is. Since the pilots and the aircraft engineers are the ones raising this concern, that means it goes beyond the land or the luggage handlers now.
So that's why I asked that question, because I didn't want to assume, because my assumptions were what You just confirmed my assumptions, because we've been reading these stories, but we've never put it this way. That now they're talking about the safety, and for me, this is not something to toy with
At all.
And honestly, if the government knows what they're doing, this is a call. This is an SOS call. The government should reach out immediately with automatic alacrity, as we used to say. This is not fun anymore, because one plane crash. We're not talking about a terrorist attack. This is not funny anymore. The pilots are crying, the engineers are talking, and they're saying the safety is not guaranteed anymore. I don't think I want to do any local flight. Now, this Jet A1, does it affect the international flights as well? Because they will come and load their petrol from here.
It does.
So we're not playing. This is not funny anymore. And I think the Minister for Aviation, Festus Keyamo, who hitherto had been looked at as a performing minister, at least to some extent, I think that this is a time for him to do something about it. We shouldn't be talking. We shouldn't be talking about it. For them to complain, and it is being escalated gradually. It was a land handlers, and now, like Okwe said, it's the engineers and the pilots. And that's the bar for me. That's the bar. This is not funny anymore. We don't want to hear about a crash. If there's a crash in Nigeria, Nigerians are going to come out very, very aggrieved and angry, because we are focusing on warning. Yeah, because they've been warning. Because we are focusing on politics does not mean that certain things that need our attention should be ignored. And we're calling on the appropriate authorities to take a look at that industry and do what should be done. All right, on that note, we'd like to round up the newspaper review on the Breakfast Express show this morning. We will take yet another break, but we will return, for more. So we're going to urge you to just sit down a little more comfortably on your chairs. We will be right back with a whole lot more for you.
No limits.
Welcome to the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Award.
This isn't a reset.
It's an evolution.
Arsenal at the top of the Premier League table.
We're going to build our paradise here on earth.
Looks up and he makes contact with his old rival.
Moments turn into memories. History into legacy.
Anything can happen.
You're welcome back. It's still the Breakfast Express show. All right, it's time for us to go to our discussion segments. Our first topic, 2027 political parties juggling to complete preparations as INEC deadline approaches. The race for the 2027 elections is gathering pace across political parties. African Democratic Congress, ADC, and three presidential hopefuls, Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amechi, and Mohammed Hayatuddin, purchased their nomination forms between Friday and Sunday.
Okay. For the Nigerian Democratic Congress,
the leading opposition political
presidential ticket for the 2027 was zoned to the south. At its national convention in Abuja on Saturday, the party said the presidential ticket is for a single 4-year term. Some of the new members spoke at the convention. Let's enjoy this one.
The Nigerian Democratic Congress recognizes that opposition politics must go beyond mere criticism for political convenience. True opposition must provide ideas, direction, accountability, and credible alternatives for national progress. The NDC therefore commits itself to issue-based politics, constructive engagement, people-oriented governance, and the restoration of public confidence in leadership. I'm sure they ignored NDC. I'm sure they laughed at NDC. But they cannot ignore or laugh now. But they are attacking. And when they attack, according to Mahatma Gandhi, then you win. Then we
The work starts today. The work in ensuring that we chase out all these people who are making our country, others who agreed that you can forge certificates, others who agreed that doing the wrong thing is right. They are the people who want to chase out.
with a great sense of unity and solidarity. That as a loyal party member, I support the decision to zone the presidential tickets of the NDC to the south. This party should ensure to change the way things are done today by prioritizing leadership without ethnic jingoism and religious favoritism.
Here to show solidarity because the crowd of people that made up of this party are people of impeccable character, and I believe we are of like minds. We are going to make Nigeria to work again.
Okay, well, you just watched that clip from the NDC. And Okwe, I understand that the NDC now it hasn't split into two, but there are two NDCs. The N in the two, one is national, the other one is Nigeria. So I am not quite understanding what is going on. But, you know, like I always say, as it unfolds, we'll get to know. All right, moving to the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, Vice President Kashim Shettima has formally submitted President Bola Tinubu's nomination and expression of interest forms to the party. Shettima called on party members and Nigerians to support the president's re-election bid, saying the Tinubu administration has shown courage in implementing reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy and rebuilding the nation's confidence.
To pause the importation of oil for 1 month. of passing blame, instead of kicking the ball down the road, he decided to take far-reaching position to really to make the country work. And Nigeria is now working. He never resorted to cheap propaganda. Who would be tired anyone who criticizes late President Muhammadu Buhari before President Tinubu? And that is a testimony to his fidelity to relationships. We are called the Rubicon. We are out of the dark tunnel, and Nigeria is on a path to recovery and growth. In this democracy, every one of us has a role to play. Some will spread the beautiful successes of our party and administration. Banners will be lifted. Some will defend the process, and some will mobilize the people. However, it becomes on all of us to, as a matter of sacrifice and contribution, protect the hope of Nigeria. On behalf of our great party, I ask all Nigerians, I beseech on all our countrymen, irrespective of differences in political affiliations, religious persuasions, tribal or sectional background, to support this nomination. And by the special grace of God, the candidacy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027.
We have a consensus in supporting Mr. President to continue the good work he is doing. So on behalf of the governors produced by All Progressive Congress of the 31 states in Nigeria out of 36, we don't know how many states that is remaining. It is already a consensus. So we humbly commit to work assiduously to market our party, market the policies and successes recorded by this administration, and to ride on that to get the public mandate and confidence for Mr. President to be re-elected. Thank you so much, and may God bless all.
Power production Nigeria, and Mr. President has supported that component. And I think we need to give a round of applause to Mr. President for providing all the infrastructure for us as a country. And then lastly, this reform also that comes with power, the reform is doing in the power sector. You know, someone asked me, and he said, Mr. President said, if I don't provide power for Nigerians, don't vote me. And I said, Mr. President has made a reform. That reform has liberalized power. The states now can generate power. And state governments are not generating power. The governor of Bayelsa, I don't know where he is here. The governor of Bayelsa is here. Of recent, Mr. President visited your state and commissioned a power plan. And I know
and the people are waiting patiently come January 2027 to show him their love and support by voting him in again for the second time. The way and manner Mr. President led this country within the last 3 years, it will give an impression to so many that he was a president of this country before. Because I always say that anyone who comes into government for the first time, the first 2 to 3 years of his administration will be full of trial and error, because it is a time for him to really understand even the problems he is encountering. But our president from day one was bold and courageous to not only identify what the key issues of this country are, but he went in a very relentless manner to pursue and achieve and conquer most of the economic problems we have in this country. So I have no doubt in my mind that this ceremony we are experiencing today is the beginning of a very good story that will not only...
You're welcome back. You know, I'm sure you watched that clip, and it's all about politics this morning. Okwe, the ball is in your court.
Yes, I'm with this line of job. There's a very huge potential that you get to consume a lot of political materials. I think we have a call. Maybe we start picking the calls now.
Yes. Let's just take this first call.
Lucky with this one.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? We lost the call.
So, one very funny thing about Nigeria's political space is one moment is ADC, the next moment is NDC, the next moment is PDP. So, and whether it's genuine or not, the fact that we have a reflection of something that looks a bit competitive is what has been giving me joy. Sometimes the buzz is up, everything calms down, but when I watched the video of the vice president, I also watched, the comment of Professor Nentawe Yitwada, the national chairman of the APC. It's basically what you expect politicians to say at this point. The president is not back in the country yet. His vice was the one that submitted his nomination from last week. And then I think that signaled the start of a thorough and rigorous electoral process. Very rigorous, as it always be, traveling from all of the states for campaigns, sometimes propaganda, rallies, moving in large convoys and all of that. But if the vice president is saying Nigeria is now working, so GDPs can show growth. Do you understand? The statistics, the numbers on paper can reflect growth. But if it does not reflect on the lives of the people, if the vice president is saying Nigeria is now working, can he go to his state? The state he governed, which is Borno State, can he go there without convoy? Can he go there without security details? That's the question we need to ask.
And it's a very good question.
If the vice president saying Nigeria is now working, because Nigeria working means that you must first and foremost keep to the constitutional responsibility that you have as a leader. The constitution is very clear. The principal responsibility of every government is to see to the safety first and the welfare of the people. So if you say Nigeria is working and Nigeria is safer than they are last few years, what happens? Do the people in Plateau that are burying their loved ones every day, do they share the same optimism about the Nigeria is now working? The people in Kwara State that have their families and relatives still in the abductors' den after so many weeks, do they share the same sentiment? The people in your own state of Borno, where terrorists are threatening that they will kill over 400 captives that they have, do they share the same sentiment that you share that Nigeria is working? So if you say Nigeria is working, what are the metrics that they are using to measure?
Sorry, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, we need to remind you, we want you to call and be part of the program, but we don't want you to call while you have increased the volume of your television set, because we won't be able to hear you. It's just going to be a waste of time. Okay, and we don't have that time to waste. So please call, be part of the program, but before you do, ensure that you're a disciplined Nigerian by listening to instructions. Reduce the volume of your television set. You don't need to hear yourself speak, because we are the ones who need to hear you speak. And if we don't hear you speak, you're just wasting your time. All right, Okwe, sorry for cutting you.
It's fine. The vice president is saying that Nigerians and party faithful should support the president, that the reforms are being implemented, and then he's restoring national confidence. You know, sometimes you think these politicians are living in a world separate from our own reality. Perhaps they just live and thrive in a bubble. They are not feeling the reality of what we have as a nation. How many people are getting killed every day? How people are literally begging. You know, on Friday, I made a post and I said, if you think we are exaggerating how hungry Nigerians are or how poor Nigerians are, if you go for your Wambe this weekend, leave your seats and go to the other side of the hall where they are washing plates, where the servers and the caterers are serving food. You see how many people, family people with bags, rushing for what used to be food for the dogs, waste, just trash. And a friend of mine replied that message late yesterday night with a picture. So apparently she did what I said they should do, and then she saw it. If you see the way people were fighting, do you know the crazy thing she said? That even the servers are now collecting small money from people before they give them waste.
Let me even tell you about it.
I broke down.
Not just the waste, but the servers would serve people and expect to get money from them.
I mean,
you know, they will monitor you when you're leaving the party. They will come to you that they have served you well. So you need
they expect themselves to also be served well.
Well, you know, I do agree with you, Okwe, that we're not, the people are not feeling the impact of the government. So when the vice president says that all is well, you know, I'm just summarizing, you know, the meaning of what he said. All is well, all is, you know, in check, you know, Nigeria is working, means that it is well. But it is well from whose perspective?
That's what I'm saying.
Perception is reality. Now, if we don't see it as being well, then it is not well.
Because it is well, or Nigeria is working, had to be working in the life of the people. First
Exactly.
off, Nigeria is not a video game where somebody has a remote control, has a pad, and is running those things. Nigeria is a functional system. Nigeria is a country on its own. So when you have systems that are supposed to make it a plug and go thing, you have a governor, you know the responsibilities of the governor. You have a local government chairman, you know the responsibility of the local government chairman. There's a reason why they call the president. He's supposed to preside. He's supposed to preside. Oh, local government chairman, what is happening in your local government? Are we making progress? That was why we kept pushing for local government autonomy. Oh, Mr. Governor, how are you governing your people? Because the president presides over everybody. The governors govern their own states. The local government have their localities to protect and develop. So if the vice president is saying that Nigeria is working, okay, we agree that Nigeria is working. Are the farmers safer now? No. Are Nigerians even safer by themselves? No. What is the reality of the economy, the indices, or the GDP is going up? Does it affect us in the market? No. Can a tuber of yam now feed a family of 5? No. Can a basket of tomato that used to be 33,000 and is now almost 190,000, does it make us feel better? No. When you buy a bulb of onion that was 100 naira before, you're now buying it for 350 naira. You say no. How much is a pack of spaghetti? It used to be less than maybe 600 or so. It's now almost 2,000 naira. How much is a derica of rice? Because Nigeria is a consuming nation, and you can't blame us. So you have to check your indices vis-a-vis the current realities of the people. If you say the GDP is going up, if you say there's stability in naira valuation, has it improved in the power of the naira? What I can buy 10 years ago with 10,000 naira, can I buy with 50,000 naira today? No. If I was being paid 50,000 naira salary 10 years ago, I would prefer than being paid 300,000 naira today. Call members that were collecting 19.8 10 years ago, they prefer it to 77,000 today.
Of course, the 19.8 would have purchased, well, you know, much more than the 70-something.
So when you say Nigeria is working, does it reflect in the quality of our daily lives?
That's the same thing that I'm saying. It doesn't reflect in the quality of our daily lives
at
all. We cannot buy petrol for our cars. Those who don't have cars but want to buy petrol for their generators, they cannot afford it. It's not affordable. Some people just want to buy petrol to run the grinding machine that they use to earn an income, and that is a problem, because when they increase the price to grind the tomatoes for their customers, they will go somewhere else. So it is a huge problem. The vulcanizer needs petrol for the welder needs petrol.
The tailor.
You know, all our artisans need petrol. Companies need petrol or diesel to run. But what does it cost now compared to what it used to cost? And then our vice president comes out and tells us, I mean, who should be telling? Now, I think that there's a mix-up here. You know, the tables are turning. The tables should not turn. What I expect our leaders to do, if they have a plan to improve the living standard of the masses, is to ask the masses, ask the people, how do you think things are going now? In 2 years, in 3 years that we've been here, what is your own analysis of our service? This is how, you know, good government should be run. by asking questions, not telling us and, enforcing it on us. Hello? Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Jigawa.
From where?
I'm calling from Jigawa.
Jigawa, Dutse.
Jigawa. Oh, well, the man who understands, those things there has answered you. All right. Thank you for calling. You want to make a contribution or you want to ask questions? Okay, go ahead.
If something is still happening like this, how are we going to tackle the problem? Since that we already know the problem, how are we going to advise our politicians?
Okay.
Instead of talking to get to the job, but to keep it getting worse. If we are talking about years back, something is not happening like that. But no, instead of to correct something, but keep it continue going like this. How are we going to do?
Thank you very much for that question. And I like the fact that she said she's going to ask a question. This is what we're asking the government to do. Ask the people questions. Is it okay with you? Is there anything you want us to improve on? Not just come out and tell us, shove it down our throats by saying that, everything is improving. Now, this woman has asked a very valid question. But my answer, before I ask Okwe to say anything, is that you can only force the horse to go to the stream. You can't force the horse to drink. What am I trying to say in other words? We can only do what we're doing. Continue to say what we're saying, that things are not okay. Now, it's a different ball game for our leaders to listen to us and to change the strategy. They said that we're bringing a change. That's what they said. That's what they promised us. But we're not really seeing this change. So it's a completely different ball game as we speak. Now, what can people do? We cannot do anything to force them to change if they don't want to change. If they want to focus on themselves, if they want to focus on politics, they will continue to do that. The one thing that the citizens can do is go to the polls. Decide who your next leader will be. If you're retaining the leadership, fine. If you're changing it, it's really up to you. The power is in your hands. Don't sit at home and say, oh, they've already decided. Your vote may make the difference. So that's the best we can tell you. We will only do what we can do. You will be there complaining. Everybody is complaining. We are feeling it as well. But the only thing we can do as citizens of this nation is to go to the polls. That's all I can say.
When you see leaders assessing themselves, it's just like an employer or an employee. So you've employed me, and then I'm supposed to be marked based on certain KPIs at the end of the month. And then I come to you and say, I've performed well, I've done well. And it doesn't make sense. Because I'm the one paying your salary. That's why they call you a public servant. You are supposed to serve me. All the luxury you are enjoying are from my commonwealth, right? And that's what you're living on. So when you stay in a place, because you have luxury, because your residence was renovated with 22 billion of taxpayers' monies, you don't think anything is not working, because when you snap, it's there. You have loads.
You can buy a yacht. You can buy.
You can do whatever
anything you want.
Your cars
first lady's office.
You don't know the cost of a bag of rice. You don't care. As long as you come into your house, there's food, there's luxury. You have people running around, are calling you around Kadede, are giving you all of the accolades you want.
And honestly, that thing stops the minute the power stops.
No, when you leave power leaves.
That's it all.
That's why most of them are desperate to make sure that they hold on to
continue. Yes.
The funny thing is that it's not like they are necessarily looking for money as such, because before you can become an elite politician in Nigeria, you must be a billionaire. That's a fact. You must have money to do Nigerian politics, but they want power attached to these monies. That's why they'll tell you that the moment you leave power, power leaves you. I was reading Mr. Femi Adesina's interview some months back, or maybe about a year ago. He said when he was with the president, that they get minimum of 100 to 300 phone calls and messages every day. People seeking for help, people wanting to see the president, people doing this and that. That the moment Jonathan left office and he stopped being an aide to the president, that sometimes he doesn't get up to 4 calls a day.
That's not.
So when they say when you leave power leaves you.
So
the question is this: what do you do while you had power? Influence may never leave you. Do you understand? Positions and recommendations may never leave you. What the good people or the good thing people will say about you may never leave you. But the power will leave you because Nigerians are naturally attracted to the nowness of an event. That's why they call it news. Who is trending now? Who is the governor? Nobody remembers who is the former governor. Nobody cares about who is the former senator. Who is there now? So when the vice president comes out to say Nigeria is working, on which basis was that assessment made? Are people smiling? Does the Nigeria have a better purchasing power today? Can I go to the market with my salary and confidently say I want to go on a vacation at the end of the month?
They have increased minimum wage.
Minimum
wage is meaningless. Honestly, if Nigeria was where it was before this government took over, you understand, with the same with 30,000 naira minimum wage, and people were at least able to afford certain things, I'm sure they would want those days
people would prefer
to come
the
back.
30,000 naira minimum wage of 10 years ago to the 77. Do you know how insulting it is for you to work for a month and you are earning 70,000?
Even we as individuals don't pay our staff that amount.
So I know there could be other small, but you're basic. Do you know what it feels like? And you have children in the university. That's why I always say that it will be difficult to sanitize the civil service. Because you know how much you are taking home. You have house rent to pay. You have kids that are going to university. You have a lot of people depending on you to survive. In fact, some of these salary earners, their family members used to be warm to them towards the end of the month. They'll start sending you greetings. They'll start sending you prayers in the morning because they know that salary days are coming. So they have loads of people on them. So if the vice president comes out to say, support the presidential bid, we know those are political statements. But when you say Nigeria is now working,
I think that's very unfair.
I want to sit back and ask myself.
And I think that's insensitive.
Look at the crowd at the bus stops this morning. When you wake up, yesterday, the same place you paid 700 naira for could be 1,200 naira today because you're passing a fuel station and you're seeing 1,310 naira.
Oh yes, I bought petrol for 1,003. Is it 345 or something yesterday?
I bought 10 liters on Saturday for 13,100. That is 10 liters.
On when? Saturday?
On Saturday.
I think it was more expensive
10 liters
yesterday.
At the start of 2023 was 1,900. That was when petrol was 190 naira per liter. 10 liters at the start of 2023 before the election was 1,900. I bought the same 10 liters for 13,100 in an oil producing
and we
state.
say that Nigeria
and the vice president is telling me that Nigeria is now working. Which work is he working? Is it that because you have more luxury as a leader, can the people you are leading also say the same? So if you come out and say that Nigeria is working, we're enjoying national stability, we are not. People are getting killed from Borno. The state you govern, the state where you are from, is the state even working? Is the state safe? People are getting killed in Benue. People are getting killed on the plateau. In fact, the number of people that have died since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made a stopover at the airport is almost times 3 of the number of people that took him to the airport. 32 people were killed in Angwarokuba. Do you know how many more people have died since after then?
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Express show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? John is calling from Aja. Okay, John, you want to ask a question? You want to make some contribution? What is it? But you need to speak up, though.
Yes.
Okay. We're waiting for you, John. What do you want to say? Yeah, go ahead and make your contribution.
It's very sad that the government of the country have destroyed the nation.
Did you hear his words? Have destroyed the nation. Yes, that is sad that the government of this country have destroyed the nation.
Certain power in the country now has gone. There's a lot of cash for the country. So why are they supporting the government that's not doing anything? People are suffering. People are dying. A lot of things are going on. governmental. Why are they supporting this government that have destroyed this country? It is very, very sad. Extremely sad. I don't know why people are supporting this government. Because we are going through. The value of money has gone down totally. It is very, very sad, honestly speaking. You see people praising the government. Is it renew hope or renew hardship? What have they done? Is it renew hope or renew hopelessness? It is very true sad. These are people that were criticizing the former government. Now they come over there and they have scattered everything. The economy is in coma. It's very, very sad indeed.
Thank you so much. Well, John has he called from Aja and he's used very, very strong words. He said the country is in coma. He said this government have destroyed the nation. Oh, these are very, very strong words. And when our vice president comes out to say publicly that Nigeria is working, they need to hear John's comments. They need to hear what's her name that called from Jigawa State. You need to hear more comments like this. And then you ask yourself again, did I say Nigeria is working? Is Nigeria really working? Is this about me or is it about Nigerians? If we give Nigerians the opportunity to tell you about Nigeria, I'm sure you wouldn't even go near saying that Nigeria is working. We must learn to stop being insensitive. That's exactly what we're doing. We're being insensitive to the feelings of the people, the masses. Look, John just said it, that the purchasing power is nil as we speak, unfortunately.
He's not lying.
He's not lying. Unfortunately, we don't have too much time to keep going on. We need to move to the next topic, but we'd like for you to call, even though we don't have too much time. The numbers to call 0707 3800959 0707 3800959. All right, time for us to continue discussing politics. We're still on politics. So rather than a picture of the day, we have a video of the day. Okay, it feels so good, so good, to see a person with dwarfism vying for a position, that made my day, really made my day. This gives me the impression that equal opportunity shouldn't just be on paper, it should be practically visible. Now we're going to be talking about Honorable Muhammad Sadis Buba Abin Al-Ajabin Zazu. Is it Zazao? Zazao, okay.
He's a titled man.
Okay, he's a title. Oh, that's a title. Let me try and take that title again. Abim Al-Ajabin Zazao. All right. He completed his screening as a House of Representatives candidate for the Sabongari Zaria Federal Constituency. We have a video from his screening exercise.
How old are you? How old are you? Huh? 30 years? Really? Wow. You're 30 years? And your mom is there, your dad is there? How many do you have? How many siblings do you have? Huh? 9 siblings. Are you the last? The first son? Is any of your brothers here? You just came alone? No. Huh? It's old. Your Odi? Who's your Odi? See the old lady. Fantastic. Congratulations. Congratulations. Can we see your membership card? Yep, can you send me your membership card? Oh, okay. Is that his file?
Yeah, this is his file.
Did you go to school?
That's what I want to check. Credentials.
Are you working closely with your governor? Is he aware that you're here?
I have seen when he was
How optimistic are you To win the. Do you have any opponent running?
Yes, very.
How do you want us to help you? Yes, how do we help you?
You want to help me to pass the school and
You will pass the school?
Yes, go down to province. Because people called me to serve. And I will serve. I'm not going to call myself. It's people that call me to serve them.
Yes. And you want to serve them?
Yes.
And how many of those people are running? How many people are running against you?
In APC?
Yeah, in
No,
APC.
only two.
Only two?
Yes.
Why don't you talk to the other person to step down for you?
No, in the current member, in the second member.
How many times has it
No,
done?
the first time.
First time. Why do you want to replace him?
No, it's not from me, it's from the people.
I love that. That's okay. Write your name.
What's the level of education? You have not seen it. I think
Yes.
just
Do we have part of his credentials?
We will come to that.
Hello, Manu. Okay.
The constituency.
Yeah, I am.
The camera person is the same, so your camera is blocked.
Latvia.
Okay.
Yawa, yanzu na jin ka.
Now we see your certificate. Which one? You have first degree?
Okay.
What do you have?
So sun wuce kenan.
Let me see your name.
it's Nico Abi. He submitted SSC.
Okay. Allah ba da sa. To komai ya tafi daidai in ke. Akwai akwai na wurin aiki ne.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
These are your copies.
We have it in the file here.
Can you help on the reference? So it's mine.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay, welcome back to the program. We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning. My name is Mr. Shegun.
Okay, Mr. Shegun.
Yes, I'm calling from Makuru.
Okay, how may we help you?
Okay, I want to deviate a little bit from your topic. I want to focus on the Lagos State government's environmental sanitation. I mean, where in this world have we seen people pay tax and then they come to the streets to clean the mess on the streets? It doesn't work that way. The government is the one meant to be responsible for anything outside your compound. The streets are owned by the government. They are maintained by the government. So, I mean, it is like slavery. You force people to come outside to work every Saturday, every last Saturday or something, to clean their gutters. When you're meant to have an agency doing that, is it that they don't want to pay people to render that service? Or, I mean, I wonder because, I mean, Lagos is all about tax. I want to believe those taxes they collect from people are meant to be spent on the state. Their streets, their roads, and all that. What is Loma doing? I mean, they need to employ more people. I can't pay tax and then you pull me to come to my gutter in front of my house and clean it. So that's the point I'm trying to throw across. They need to work on that. You can't force people to come outside to. I mean, it's not done anywhere in the world. Are we under a military government or a dictatorship kind of arrangement? That's what I wanted to say on air.
Thank you so much for calling. We will address this issue as we go along very quickly because we don't really have the time. Okay, so a little deviation from the dwarf, but we need to
Very
talk about
important also.
very important here. But we need to quickly talk about the dwarf registration of Honorable Muhammad Sadis Buba. I am really, really very proud, and I'm so happy that this is happening. The man is so cute. Like, I'm serious. No, I'm serious.
He's a 30-year-old man.
Yeah, but he's so cute. And I really, really like the fact that this man is being given the opportunity. And you can see that they really screened him. They drilled him. You know, they really... We have a call, but, you know, let me just talk about this man. You know, I want to talk passionately about the fact that Nigeria has given this man an opportunity. And I believe that with this is the beginning of better things to come in Nigeria, where by the word equality is actually here in action. All right, let's hear from this caller briefly. Hello, good morning. Yeah, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, what do you want to say right now?
I totally disagree with the last caller about the environment. How can you say government should bring people to clean your gutter? Your gutter, your own mess. Even in abroad, there's community work, people do work. You can't expect the government every time to come down and do everything for us. There's no way the government will employ people to clean your gutter. It's not possible. It's not done anyway. You have to clean your own mess. That's your mess. And that's how they do the different thing. The environment, you have to keep your environment very clean. You don't need to be told that. That's my own contribution.
Thank you so much. Well, you guys are gradually taking us away from our topic, but let me quickly respond to that. Abroad, nobody comes out to clean their gutters. I'm sorry, I must say this. It doesn't happen abroad. Nobody comes out to clean their gutters. I'm not speaking in defense of the last caller, and I see your point. Yes, if you make a mess within your compound, you should clean it. Ideally, you should ensure that your surrounding is clean. But his point is that if people are paying taxes for this work to be done,
we have Ministry of Environment.
We have Ministry of Environment. So why you don't need to take the taxes in that case and let people just focus on cleaning their gutters outside their compound. I am kind of in support of what he said. I have never been in America and seen any of my hosts, no matter where I go to, whether it's New Jersey, whether it's Maryland, whether it's New York, whether it's Boston, whether it's Philadelphia, anywhere, nobody comes out to clean their gutters. You know what I'm saying? But they just clean the immediate environment. You see that the government have people who do this on a daily basis, sometimes bi-daily. That's twice a day. You know, that's the way it happens. So his point is valid by my own assessment to an extent, and I hear you loud and clear that, you know, as individuals we should always ensure that our environments are clean. I'm sure a lot of us do that even without being told, and I'm sure the person who called does that as well, even though he's complaining. You know, sometimes when you do things, you still would want the right thing to be done. You know, so let's look at it like that. All right. Before we leave, there's one thing I would really like to talk about, and I told him about it. How I went to a police station over the weekend. And I'll try to get the name of that police station that I went to. My daughter's house girl, you know, absconded. And we had to go and make the report at the police station. In fact, I said a missing girl. They said she's not missing because she's an adult, you know, so she absconded. Okay, it's the Ilashe police station. I hope I got that pronunciation right. Ilashe police station. So when I got there, you know, at the front desk, they recorded not the report, but the case was recorded at the front desk, and I know what I encountered at the front desk. And then when I went in, they now assigned an IPO to me, and I went in and I sat in front of the IPO. He's IPO Ayeni, you know, and he didn't smile for 1 second, you know. And he was so professional, you know. He write your statement. He told me what to do, how to do it, you know, no paragraphs, put your full stop and continue. And, you know, he gave me all the rules, you know, in one breath. And then I started to write, and I picked the paper, put it on my hand, and I was writing. And another IPO said, no, madam, you can't write on your hand. Put the paper down. I said, I don't have my glasses. That's why I need it closer to my eyes. He said, wait till you get your glasses. So I had to send for my glasses. And then I put the paper on the table. He said, because we don't want anybody recording us and saying that our police station don't have tables, you know. And in my mind, I'm like, who is going to report you? I'm the one person that can report you anyway. But, okay, so I put it on the table and my glasses came and I wrote my report and everything. And I felt there was, the man, Ayeni, was so professional. And even the man who said, don't write on your hand, he was professional too, you know. So I finished what I was doing, and he told me, okay, they will, you know, they have their ears to the ground. They'll do their investigation. If they find her or any news about her, they would inform me, and I should do the same if I get her first. At the end of the day, you know, I said, okay, officer, can I have your number? He gave me his number, and I said, all right, I'll call you later. So, and I left. So the following day, I just felt in my spirit that I wanted to, you know, give him something. I wanted to buy him breakfast. That's what I said. It was a Sunday morning. I said, I sent him a message. I'd like to buy you breakfast. Please send me your account details. Do you know that this man refused? He refused. He said no, he wasn't going to take anything, you know, and so on and so forth. And I just want to commend him, because when we sit on this table and talk about the police asking for money, asking for bribe when they're doing their duties, we must come back to say that we did meet a police that we can call our friend. What's it? IPO Ayeni. Thank you very much and well done. I'm sure that IG Disu will be so proud of you.
And I'm sure the IPO now will now realize that, oh, so this person I'm thinking she should not say we don't have table is even the one I should have been more concerned about. But I big up. So when we criticize them, we'd also praise them when they do the right things.
All right, well, that's the way we have to round up today. We want to call it a day, but not before we remind you to follow us on all our social media platforms. Please, please, and please. It's at MITV Plus on Facebook, at MITV Plus _NG on Instagram, TikTok, and X. And you can also watch our programs live on YouTube at MITV Plus _NG. Please remember to click the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Okwayemi?
Yeah, we have to go. We'll be back tomorrow, God's prayer in our lives, for a fresh edition of the show. Have a beautiful Monday and join us again tomorrow.
All right, from me, it's have a wonderful day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you.